Hello and welcome to the Drawing Animal Podcast with Wesley Bear. I am your host, Wesley Bear, and on today's episode, we will be talking about the misunderstood fish of the red-bellied piranha or piranhas in general. Piranhas are kind of distinguished by their kind of roundish, almost puppy dog-ish uh, face and body, which has kind of a studding out jaw that is rowed by sharp triangular teeth. They start off more darkish, grayish in color, and as they age, they get those wonderful greens, yellows, and of course, specifically in the red bellied, that wonderful bright orangish red belly. Uh, the piranhas can be found throughout most of Central South America in the countries of Paraguay, Uruguay, Bolivia, and most, of course, notably Brazil, in which all those major river basins that we think of when we think of the giant rainforests of the Amazon come together and merge to create these wonderful, wonderfully huge rivers. They are mostly found in more shallow regions of these rivers and can be found in lakes and streams, though as conditions change, they will seek deeper water, and we'll get into that later. But of course, the most famous thing about piranhas is kind of their misunderstanding as these bloodthirsty, feeding frenzied fish. Most notably, of course, through a number of horror films, including the Piranha series. But this is pretty much all myth. This was kind of brought about in part due to Teddy Roosevelt, but it has been exaggerated ever since. But the thing to think about is, what does a fish have other than teeth by which it can interact with the world? Very few fish make sound, or if they do, they don't play a huge role usually in communication and with interaction with the environment. Piranha do make the occasional bark, which emanates from their swim bladder, but again, that's not the primary way that piranhas interact with the world. It's through their teeth. Now, their teeth actually get replaced much in the same way that sharks do. Sharks will continually regrow their teeth and get replacement teeth throughout their lifetime. Piranhas actually grow and regrow and lose teeth in sets instead of all at once. But just like sharks, this will happen throughout their own entire lives. But when you have sharp, pointed teeth, it's the best way to know about the world around you. And this is what is maybe scientifically called nipping. So they basically nip at everything to discover whether or not it's worthy of interacting, usually in the manner of discovering, is this food? They will nip and feed on things like worms, insects, occasionally aquatic plants, but most of their favorite food is actually small fish, seeds, and fruit. The seeds and fruit, of course, come from the seeds of trees that release their pods into the water, and the fish just gobble those up, and they really love them. And they will then also, again, eat small fish, but usually before eating a fish, they will nip at it as a way of discovering, is this fish worthy of my time and effort? Because some of these fish are quite a bit bigger. They also tend to, in the Amazon, have a lot of actually armor plating, and there's no point in trying to go after a large armored fish when you can go after something much smaller and easier to eat. Now, there is some truth to their want to go after certain other things. But nearly all these things, both capybaras to jaguars to humans themselves, are all things that are dead or dying. That is pretty much the only way that piranhas will, in any sense, want to go after something that's of significant size. And they don't want to mess with things that are too large for them to handle. They are able to detect blood in the water at about 1 drop for every 200 liters. So it's not probably the best idea to go walking around in water with, say, bloody feet. But again, they're not going to go into these crazed hypnotic states they can't get out of if they sense blood. It's just they have a good sense of smell and it's going to attract them, and then they're going to decide whether or not you're worthy to be nipped. And it's probably just not nice to be nipped by a piranha with such sharp teeth. But again, that's the only reason. And in fact, they're actually overall cautious and kind of shy fish. They do form into some groups, which include anywhere from a couple dozen to 100 sometimes, but they're very much on the defensive and would rather kind of swim away from something that might eat them rather than actively aggressing manner. So, in fact, pretty much there are only two reasons why piranhas ever get aggressive. One is just as conditions change in the water and the dry season really sets in due to lack of food that usually occurs during the dry season, they will just be quick to gobble anything they can fit into their mouths. And so that does create some stress and aggression when you have a very limited food supply. And they will occasionally go after other piranha if the conditions become extreme. The only other way that piranhas get aggressive is if they're defending their young, actually. A male and female will get together. The female will lay eggs and then the male will fertilize them. And then he will actually stick around for a couple days waiting for the eggs to hatch. And he will actually be quite aggressive and protective against other fish and other piranha and make sure those eggs remain safe until they hatch. And he will stick around for another couple more days as they kind of get a hang of things, and will kind of corral them and watch after them. But after a couple days, he will eventually leave. But it kind of shows a strange parental nature that piranha have that you wouldn't expect from such a fish. And so it really just shows that piranha are just pretty much underappreciated and misunderstood, and that piranha actually have somewhat of a caring nature built into them. The need to protect, and just that they need to interact with the world that is much larger than them. And this is the only way they know how to do it, is through their teeth. And nipping is just their way of saying hi or oh, what's this? And so don't be so afraid of piranha. And in fact, they're actually quite a fascinating species, and we may get into them another time, as there is, of course, some interesting offshoots of this family, including the well-known pacu, which is more on the fruit-eating side of the family. And so that's just a little bit about one of the most misunderstood fish. Thank you all for listening. You can check out my books in the description of my channel. And you can also check out my website, which is crazycreaturecaricatures.com, to learn more about me, and also subscribe to the channel. Please like and share, and interact with my other podcast, the Animals in the Bible Study podcast, to learn about the world of animals and how we as Bible believers can see how God speaks to us through his creation, and how sometimes it's a beautiful thing, but sometimes it serves as a warning. And be sure to listen to last week's episode to learn all about the warnings God gives and the consequences of that through creation itself, in a pretty bizarre story, and I hope you listen to that one. Thank you all again for listening, and again, enjoy nature, enjoy drawing, enjoy God's creation, and have a wonderful day.